Let's give it up one more time for Eileen Miles and for the incredible efforts that are behind saving the East River Park right now. It's a really valiant effort that's happening. Next up, I have the unique pleasure to introduce Ariana Reines. Born in Salem, Massachusetts, she is a poet, playwright, and translator. She earned a BA from Barnard College and completed graduate work from both Columbia University and the European Graduate School, where she studied literature, performance, and philosophy. Named one of Flavor Wire's 100 most important living writers and a crucial voice of her generation by Michael Silverblatt, Ariana Reines is a poet, Obie-winning playwright, and performing artist. Her books include the play Telephone, The Origin of the World, and Mercury, Coeur de Lion, and The Cow, as well as her most recent collection of poetry, A Sand Book, which was longlisted for the 2019 National Book Award in Poetry. Reines' translations include a version of Baudelaire's My Heart Laid Bare, and she has taught at Columbia University and the European Graduate School and was the Roberta C. Holloway Lecturer in Poetry at the University of California, Berkeley in 2009, the youngest poet to ever hold that position. I'm so pleased to welcome to the stage Ariana Reines.
Hey, hi everybody. I'm so excited. I haven't read with real human beings since February, and I'm sorry I might not remember how to do this. Just taking a moment to look at your faces. Everyone looks so beautiful. The city feels so alive. Sorry, I know this isn't very performative. I always want to die while my bio is being read. None of it is true, none of it matters. It always makes me want to die. I'm nervous. So I'm going to read something I shoved something. I visited my mother at the psychiatric hospital yesterday, and she gave me something to give to my brother, and I shoved it into my notebook. And I'm going to just read something from that page that I shoved the thing into my notebook from to keep this terrifying. It's called Death Has the Biggest Dick of All. I wrote it on July 8th. It's short. I'm very embarrassed. Death has the biggest dick of all. Probably the reason why women are still attracted to the devil and will always be is that's who fucked us originally to get life onto this planet. Nah. I don't know. It was just a passing feeling on July 8th. That's the thing about poems, you can't stand by these things. You can't run for office on a platform like that. I certainly wouldn't vote for that as an idea. It's not a good business practice. It's not a good philosophy. This is a poem called Heal Her, and I've never read it to any physical human being, only to emanations on screens. So I'm very honored to share this with you today, and I'd like to dedicate it to my friend Eileen. Where are you? Yeah. Heal Her. Its subject is evil. Unfortunately, I don't write poems about beautiful sunny days in the park. I'm working toward it. I'm working toward being able to be a person who can write about bliss and ecstasy and friendship and love, but I'm not there yet. Heal her. Does all evil emanate from a single source? And to the 100,000 elaborations of bad over which Puritans and pundits fight it out on the crust of the earth correlate to the lack of spiritual and political foundation that would make it easy to see the Marxist reality that the corporate and billionaire class is what's really got to go. That my racism and yours, our failure to love, are masquerading as things that are wrong with you and me, when we're just walking symptoms of the structural reality into which trees, poems, tears, and miracles introduce a rending, streaming, higher truth, a better flow, the holy sheen of life. And the matter of what is in our hearts, and my deep desire to change, ultimately, and the people I show up for and the causes I serve is personal, a matter I won't hector you to give me credit for. I'm still not a good enough writer. The personal is an old-fashioned fantasy. Like certain magazine feelings, it does still hold sway over me. I'm just trying to put my guts back in my body because they're spilling out. I'm just trying to shove my brains back in my head and remind them that they're mine. Too much evil hath made public discourse stupid and boring. Too much binary thinking, and even the UFO heads and channelers are all saying versions of the same thing. Do you remember that? That was like early in the pandemic. Yeah. Look, I can't prove that I'm not a benevolent priestess from Arcturus, but even if that were the case, I know I'm only a semi-okay human being. There is a decency, a middleness that seems to give us major anxiety here on earth, and that seems to me a goodness, artists and radicals, those attracted to extremity, me, those who tend to wallow in negativity, neglect. I mean, it pretty much seems as though wherever we are, we come to earth. If you're reading this, we come to earth to be human. The sexual misery and the theories of QAnon is truly amazing. It is a catastrophe of the American imagination that even conspiracy theories are so bad, right? No freedom, even in lunacy. Now, what does that say? No freedom, even in lunacy. Moon, mother, hast thou forsaken me? Still, there's maybe one good thing I can say about the USA right now. For such a young empire wading through so much evil, maybe it's something that even in our advanced state of decay, a lot of us are looking at ourselves and endeavoring furiously to find better ways. I mean, when my soul is fucking dying, I can feel it. And when I've done wrong, the punishment begins instantly. In the pit of my guts, we will build restorative justice from the pit of our guts. Other grids will hold the truth of cities, reparations, repair, the notion of mending itself. Did you know that's an old theology? That old theology is coming back. But where could I go to say that? I've always wondered what the place for such things was, other than a poem, or loose talk with the ones I love, or a world I know exists but yet see only in flashes. I resist to put it in an essay, for there you might praise me for my intelligence. I'd like to turn it into beauty, but practicing artlessly this art allows me to lay the feeling naked before your eyes, resisting to make use of it. I believe we are a young species, ignorant of our origins. I believe Earth is a school where we learn to stop treating life so horribly. Do I believe that? I just typed it. Yeah, I think I do. But can we please not be so uptight about it? I'm inspired by you still practicing this old technology. I mean, writing's pretty old, but poetry, song, medicinal speech, older. Why did they ever do that? Start writing it down. What does it mean I can't really speak my soul except it flows down my arms into you? Tell me, who first wrote it down? What did that do to our mind? Could I ever have been a singer? Poetry used to be speech. Magic used to be a flow. What happens when you can't remember everything you need to know? Have to look it up, have to ask someone else, need an app to prepare you for how you might feel. The first utterance, it is said, belonged to the creator. Later, writing became important. Latterly, we write in number, as the Kabbalistic Holy of Holies is said to have done. People used to say, it is written. Now most writing is selling. I predict the written word will be valued even less 100 years from now. This is why we have to practice telepathy, the art of memory, and the trickster's art of pure speech. What about the prison of a certain mode of megahertz through which pop music pumps itself into me right down to this very day? TV rots your brains is a boomer phrase, but so much of manifest reality is bad TV, which you can scroll vertically, the perpendicular opposite of an old-time holy book. I feel like there are all these neglected vehicles for time travel just lying around. Guitars, banjos, that Jew's harp over there, the histories of dead religions I wouldn't recommend exactly reading, but kind of squinting at or maybe brushing against, the way in the old world you'd brush against someone at a party and never actually meet or talk or fall in love till 3 years later. It's so weird who we are, what we've become. This embarrassment of riches we've been endowed with and have only the faintest clue how to use. And I have to keep reminding myself, take what you need and leave the rest. Take what you need and leave the rest. Like good poems written by dead assholes who I'm in no danger of getting ruined by. Do you realize the lengths people used to have to go to get something written, and once written and the people alarmed, safely hidden? Sometimes I feel like my body's a jar whose contents are either treasure or sedition, and I spend all this energy trying to act like I don't know, so you won't notice, and I'll be safe. Do you know how much I've been trolled, stalked, defamed, assaulted, and hurt in my life? Oh, but I don't want to talk about it. It isn't interesting. It's common. I don't want you to sympathize with me because I've been hurt. I don't even want you to appreciate me if I ever manage to say something smart. I'm just trying to see if there's another place we can go than this. If I put words in a certain order and trick you into neither fearing nor feeling intimidated by me, distracting you with my idiocy, maybe you'll feel a little relief. Maybe the invisible world will come a little closer. I've learned how to carry it around, my jar, and I'm even over how I just feel dead sometimes and always have, just dead. I'm even over that. Know how to handle it. Sometimes I see how stupid it is that I still fantasize about domestic bliss when most of my heroes lived lives of hazard and torment. And actually, it's really very nice here in this big house, but the other reality gnaws at me. You know? Having to try and make a go of an honest life when there are children in cages and entire generations incarcerated in a kind of preening evil whose peripherality to me and to the ones I love and what matters to me is a total illusion. The evil is the center of things, the water through which we row. A grinning skeleton is dancing his demented jig on the charnel ground. It me. And I hate when white ladies say, it me. I just put that there to see how it would feel, and I didn't like how it felt. And I won't do it again. I know happiness is in action, and the only solution is to do more. That's always been how it works for me, at least. I just have this feeling for language, and I can't shake it. I feel it. I want a musical life. It's kind of crazy the way jazz fueled Jack Kerouac and On the Road fed the rock stars who came after, the acid tests, the whole white counterculture. Did women ever get a sexual revolution? Has that happened? Will there be a new renaissance of improvisatory music or queer chicken farmers, reparations in cash and land to all descendants of enslaved people in the USA, and an energy flowing like nectar into the deep pits and scars of identity, everything it gave us, everything it took away? Have I eaten too much plastic to be redeemed? My mom is drunk in a midtown hotel. My mom is drunk in a midtown hotel. She's okay. I found out the housing voucher I managed to get her over 3 years going to Bronx Housing Court on her behalf is actually paying the bill. I found out something I tried and did for her didn't entirely fail. Why am I telling you this now? I can't write a poem, I guess, without mixing things up. I have one boring problem, and all my other faults dance around it in a Busby Berkeley concatenation. I so often catch myself not wanting to know what I know, I said to Dave last night on our way to the bodega. It's like the nanoparticulate of Americanness these times have deposited into me, addicted to this idea of innocence as the condition for making anything new. I recognize the blanching white cruelty and horny boyishness in the swelling of my voice when I start to feel a little free. It's so weird to have this man in me, Ken Kesey, saying with unnerving sensuality that, quote, a man has the right to be as big as he feels himself to be, unquote. Yesterday's counterculture and yesterday's angels and somebody else's beauty and joy. And yet I feel this swelling in my heart. I feel how sick it made me when I tried to eat my own aura and tried to grow small. In my 2 years of homelessness, I longed to expand to my natural size and taste. Can't we share that? For some reason, last year in the fires in California, I developed a strange affection for End of the Line by Traveling Wilburys. Nobody remembers that song. It's dad music my personal dad never listened to. It was a weird sonic amulet protecting Jay's truck from the flames, but to think of only protecting one person, the one you love, even that has got to go. Where does your imagination go? The cosmos itself, language, the idea of being really truly felt and seen and known, which I no longer even imagine in dreams. I'm either trying to write about mass stupefaction or seeming to write about that while actually making a melody with the junk I found where no one else was looking. Maybe I'm not working hard enough at art. Maybe I'm working too hard. America, I've been trying to correct my defects and not be a problem for anybody else ever again. Puritanical overcoming, you are a boring and unshakable mistress, but making it pay makes it American. When I think of the years I couldn't even listen to jazz, I recognize how dead my heart was then, how afraid I was to feel the other worlds. Even now, what if I told you if I didn't write and read poetry, I'd be a monster, basically. A zombie. Well, what would that say about me? No, Ariana, wrong question. Like I said earlier, this is an old and under-researched technology. It isn't about me. Its purpose remains obscure to me. Something about channeling energy. Didn't Roland blow a horn? My people make primal sounds through dead ramparts. What does it mean when Gabriel blows his horn? The trumpets of Jericho, time's up. Music is as close to the universe as I can feel. Closer than a crystal. Closer even than you. Thank you.